Today is Thursday, April 25th. I'm Katie Keller.
And I'm Mary Beth Holtel. Topping our news today. Firefighters were called into 68 West Main Street yesterday after a large fire broke out in the building. Orbit Media News correspondent Christine Holmes has more.
Traffic was blocked for hours as firefighters tried to tame the blaze at 68 West Main Street Wednesday afternoon. New Concord Fire Department received notification at 11:51 that morning. An estimated amount of 25 firefighters were on the scene from New Concord, Castle Station, Falls Township, and Perry Township. The property is owned by Trent Cubison of Norwich and is rented out to 4 residents. Amy Newberry was the only person in the home at the time.
My day off, I was sleeping in, and I thought my alarm clock was going off, and here it was a smoke detector. So that woke me up, thank God. And I was upstairs, I opened my hallway door, and it was full of smoke. I shut it, ran downstairs, grabbed a few things, ran outside, and went down to the coffee shop and said, call the fire department.
Among firefighters on the scene were 3 Muskingum University students. Freshman J.J. Pickering, sophomore Melissa Emmerich, and freshman Lana Neal all volunteered. Assistant Fire Chief Troy Cole explains how important volunteers from Muskingum University were in Wednesday's fire.
Volunteers from the college are a great asset to the fire department. Today we had three of the students from Muskingum were on this fire, and that's probably about half of the manpower that was here from New Concord was actually college students today.
Pickering explains how valuable each individual is when putting out a fire.
Everybody was really involved because everybody plays a key role in it, you know. Assistant Chief Troy Cole, he was in charge today, the majority of the fire. So he was directing everybody, and we all did our own individual tasks.
We will be keeping you posted as more information develops about the fire. For Orbit Media News, I'm Christine Holmes.
In light of recent events in Boston, there are precautions that need to be taken. Orbit Media News correspondent John Clevenger has more.
After the bombing at last week's Boston Marathon, Danny Vincent, police chief at Muskingum University, sent out an email to all students requesting that they not leave their backpacks unattended.
In light of what's happened across the country at several different universities and so forth, then we had the bombing at Boston at the marathon, and I just thought it was time to send it out and make everybody aware, and hopefully we can prevent something like that from ever happening around here.
In the case of a suspicious-looking backpack being noticed on campus, Vincent tells us the process that they would go through to take care of the issue.
We would check it out, and you know, if we thought it was suspicious, we obviously would have to notify the fire department, who would also in turn probably notify the bomb squad to come and check it out.
Vincent also shares how he or other emergency responders could tell a potential threat from anything else.
Now, you know, you can generally tell if what you're dealing with. You know, if you think there's anything in it, if anything gives you any reason to believe that there's anything in it, any sounds coming from it, something like that, you know, is always a good way of knowing whether or not it's just a book bag with books in it or what's suspicious about it, you know. Don't leave anything unattended. And if everybody pretty much adheres to that and you do start seeing stuff unattended, then, you know, it gives you a little bit more concern.
For Orbit Media News, I'm John Clevenger.
Up next, we have another edition of Luke's Tech Corner. Today, Luke is going to show us how to put your Muskingum email account on your iPhone. Check it out now on Luke's Tech Corner.
Hello and welcome to Luke's Tech Corner. Today, I'm going to be telling you how to put your Muskingum email on your iPhone. First up, you're going to go to Settings. Next, you're going to scroll down until you find Mail and Contacts Calendar. Click it. Once you're there, you will see Accounts right here, and you will press Add Account. You will then choose Other. Once you do that, you press Add Mail Account. At this point, you add your name, email, password, and description. Once you finish that, you press Next. Once that looks up your account, you will see IMAP and POP. Make sure you press POP. The first thing you do is look at the incoming server and you press it and you type in mailsrv.muskingum.edu. Then you put your username. Once you do that, you go down to outgoing mail server and you do the same thing again. Once you do that, you press Save. Once you enter all your information, the screen will go back to this. You will then press the Muskingum Mail section. Next, you will scroll down to Advanced. Once you do that, you will see Use SSL. Make sure that that is off. And you will change your server port to 110 if you are on a AT&T device, and if you are on a Verizon device, you change it to 995. Once you are finished, you will press Back and Done. Once you are done, you will now have your Muskingum email account on your device. It will be right in your mail app, and all of your emails are there. That's it for Luke's Tech Corner. Have a great day.
That's all for the news. Up next is Grace Dry with your weather and sports.
We'll be back in a little while with your hook and movie picks of the week, here only on the Muskie Daily. Hello everyone, Grace Dry here with your weekend weather forecast. Tonight will be a bit chilly with a high of 34 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow will then be mostly sunny with a high of 63 degrees, so bring those summer clothes back out from the back of the closet. Then tomorrow night will be mostly clear with a low of 34, so take a jacket when out and about with your Friday activities. Now let's take a look at your 3-day forecast. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 71, the perfect weather for Muskie-Palooza. Sunday, though, the rain showers will be out with a high of 64 degrees. Then to start off the last week of classes on Monday, expect to see mostly cloudy skies with the sun peeking out some in the afternoon and a high of 71 degrees. I'll be right back in a moment with your Muskie Sports Update here on the Muskie Daily. Back here with your Muskie Sports. The Muskingum baseball team is in action on Saturday in a doubleheader against Ohio Northern at 1. The softball team will be taking on Ohio Northern as well at Ohio Northern. And the Muskingum golf team will host the OAC Championships on Saturday at River Greens Golf Course in West Lafayette. Now though, let's take a look at professional sports with Carlos Diaz in Headline Sports.
Headline Sports, I'm Carlos Diaz. NBA playoffs continuing in the Western Conference. The Spurs take care of the Lakers 102-91 and take a 2-0 lead in that series. Tony Parker led all scorers with 28 points. Tim Duncan and Kawhi Leonard each scored 16. The series shifts to Los Angeles for the next 2 games. Game 3 is on Friday. Also out west, the Thunder rallied down the stretch to beat the Rockets 105-102. Former Thunder guard James Harden led all scorers with 36 points and had the Rockets poised for the upset. But Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook came through down the stretch. They each finished with 29 points. The Thunder lead the series 2-0. Game 3 is Saturday in Houston. In the Eastern Conference, the Pacers crushed the Hawks 113-98 to take a 2-0 lead in that series. Paul George followed up his triple-double in Game 1 with another strong performance. The league's most improved player scored a playoff career-high 27 points. He also had 8 rebounds. The series goes down to Atlanta, Game 3, Saturday. NASCAR announced that they have penalized Matt Kenseth 50 points in the driver's standings because the engine he won with on Sunday failed the post-race inspection. His crew chief, Jason Radcliffe, has been suspended 6 races and fined $200,000. Kenseth drops from 8th to 14th in the Sprint Cup standings. Mets trailing 3-2 to the Dodgers. Mets down to their final out. David Wright drives in Matt Baxter to tie the game. Bottom of the 10th. Jordani Valdespin up with the bases loaded. He unloads them with a walk-off grand slam off Josh Wall to give the Mets the 7-3 win. With Headline Sports, I'm Carlos Diaz.
If you're heading to the movies this weekend, you might want to check out a romantic comedy with an all-star cast led by Robert De Niro, or a critically acclaimed drama starring Matthew McConaughey. Carl Azuz has a preview.
Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson join forces in Pain and Gain. The action comedy is inspired by the true story of 3 down-and-out bodybuilders who hatch a plot to kidnap a wealthy businessman to extort money. The trio ends up in over their heads, pursued by a private investigator.
Now I go to work.
Pain and Gain is rated R. Matthew McConaughey plays a drifter hiding out on a Mississippi island in mud. He enlists the help of 2 teenage boys, telling them he's on the run from bounty hunters and is hoping to escape the island to be reunited with the love of his life, played by Reese Witherspoon.
It says hold tight.
Mud is rated PG-13. A Modern Family tries to survive a weekend wedding celebration in The Big Wedding. A long-divorced couple, played by Robert De Niro and Diane Keaton, are forced to pretend to be happily married after their adopted son's conservative biological mother decides to attend.
Pretend to be married for the weekend. What's the big deal?
The all-star cast includes Susan Sarandon, Robin Williams, Amanda Seyfried, and Topher Grace. The Big Wedding is rated R. For Now Showing, I'm Carl Azuz.
Now let's take a look at the showtimes listed for Friday at the Zanesville Cinemark Theater. For our last week of shows for the semester.
Unfortunately, this is the last time signing off for the Muskie Daily on Thursdays, so everyone out there watching, having a great summer break, and we can't wait to see you next semester.